BB, what do you think about dealing with people who believe conspiracy theories? For example, a recent study showed more than 40% of Republicans believe that Bill Gates plans to use the COVID vaccine to inject microchips into people. There's tons of other conspiracy theories lately, of course, and I feel like it might be wise to deal with these people in a similar way to people who are in a cult. Be respectful, try to understand where they're coming from, and slowly try to poke holes in their beliefs. I've just been frustrated lately by people who are ostensibly somewhat smart, but have also totally bought into all the crazy conspiracy theories out there. Any thoughts? Hey, BB, thanks for this. Yeah, conspiracy theorists and all of this, man, I've talked about this so much. It's all about mindsets, right? And it's all about facts that you're willing to accept and acknowledge as true versus objective reality and how it really works. And most conspiracy theorists are so horribly simple-minded about their conspiracies that it just surrenders right away to critical thinking because the dots don't connect, or they're making inferences or connections that are just, outlandishly silly. Bill Gates, injecting microchips into people. How's that even supposed to work? I mean, and this is why questioning this sort of thing leads generally to unraveling it if you can do it right. Usually has to be done in person. I've never seen anybody taken apart online. Nor would I recommend ever trying to do that. It's just a waste of everybody's time. You really got to be in front of the person, and anyway, as far as this stuff goes, you basically have the right formula, BB. It is taxing to deal with people who are really at the extreme ends of it. In fact, it's almost impossible because when you try to, let me offer this little bit of insight, and then kind of maybe this will help, right? And I learned this from a book called Behind the Truthers, or With the Truthers. I'll put a link to it below in the description section for this video. But a guy an investigative reporter actually went and really did a deep dive on this. Why do people fall for these beliefs? And it has nothing really to do with the factualness or unfactualness of the beliefs themselves or the conspiracies themselves. It mostly has to do with major life changes, traumatic episodes, midlife crisis, sometimes, in very, very, very rare circumstances, is there mental illness involved. Generally speaking, these people are not mentally ill. They are not even bad critical thinkers in terms of being able to logic through a proposition or argument. They do it all the time. They just happen to be choosing facts and evidence that are outlandishly stupid to make their logical argument. So it's not their ability to think a thought through or think through connecting dots. It's the dots they're connecting. And why would they go in that direction? Well, something motivates them that emotional need is being met with the conspiracy theory. Sometimes a laundry list of emotional needs, not just one. And so when you try to debate facts with them or poke holes in their theories, that's not, if they didn't arrive to their conspiracy mindset through a logical series of facts. So a logical series of facts is probably not going to lead them out of it. There's an emotional base that all of those facts and ideas and conspiracy theories are resting on. And you have to dig down to what that's all about. Why is this person so compelled to believe that vaccines cause autism? Well, if they're a mother of an autistic kid, there's probably some real psychological issues going on there of guilt and grief and trauma, and this person is just stuck in this situation that they don't like, and they cannot deal with not having an answer to the question of, why is my kid this way? And we don't have all the answers yet to why autistic kids are autistic. We don't even have firm, solid, rock solid science yet on what that even means. What are these spectrums? How do they, there's lots of framing for this. And I'm not trying to bring this up to get into some big debate about autism. I'm talking about the mothers, and I'm saying that they have emotional needs that are not being met by the science, and so they turn to this alternative anti-vax nonsense. Yeah, sure, there are problems with vaccines, but they don't cause autism. And this idea that, that this is a general problem that is, worldwide, and we've got this big issue with this, that, it just doesn't really work out that way. But the emotional needs of these mothers are not being met by those answers. So they adopt another set of answers that do meet their needs. And so, if you really wanted to deal with that, you don't deal with it by arguing the facts of vaccines. You deal with that by helping that person individually to deal with their emotional problems and get them to come to a point where they can see that the reason they're clinging to these beliefs so hard is because they have to, because it's the only way they can make sense of the world. So, if you can dig down there and rummage around in that area. And generally speaking, I think it takes professional counseling to do that kind of thing. So, because you don't want to just be digging around in somebody's head. So that's a chore. That's difficult. In fact, it's damn near impossible, especially online. So you're not going to really get anywhere with the person. And that's what's so frustrating in trying to talk to them. They're not coming at you with a good faith argument. They're coming at you with emotional needs. And those emotional needs are met by this conspiracy theory. And it is beyond just the anti-vaxxers. There could be other conspiracy theories, flat earth, for example. This is big in the flat earth world, and that ties into a religious need most of the time with the flat earthers. They're very, very hardcore religious believers. And very, very distrustful of authority. I mean, this gets into dealing with authority issues and trust issues. People don't trust the government. They have good reasons not to trust the government. But when they take it to an extreme and then adopt these crazy ideas, then you're dealing with something else entirely. So anyway, point is that there are underlying psychological issues for almost all of these things that don't have to do with mental illness. Okay, let me stress this again. None of what I'm talking about here about emotional needs or psychological needs, that's not code word for mental illness. It's a very different thing, okay? You can logic yourself into corners all day long and have a perfectly functioning brain. That has to do more with our bias, our bubble world thinking, our prejudicial thinking, that kind of stuff. So, and it's all, again, driven by emotion, okay? So, at the end of the day, are these people, dangerous? For the most part, no. For the most part, they're not. They're just people who have kooky ideas because their emotional needs are being met by those ideas, and they like to share them because they feel like they're on a mission now. They're on some kind of crusade to save the world, and this is what gives their life meaning. So when you attack the theory, when you attack the conspiracy theory, they have so much adopted it as their own, as made it their own personality, their own mission, that you're attacking them as far as they're concerned. And they can't differentiate the two things, which is why attacking the conspiracy theories usually goes absolutely nowhere. So I don't know. I don't know if that's helpful information. I don't know if it's useful at all, but that's how I see it. It's complicated. It's difficult. And knowing all of this and looking at this problem as much as I have and dealing with it over the years the way that I have, it's why I just have kind of pushed it aside and don't really particularly try to attack or deal with or debunk conspiracy theories or flat earth or any of that stuff. It's a total waste of everybody's time. It makes for interesting and amusing content, but at the end of the day, it's pretty much a waste of everybody's time. So I don't know. That's kind of how I see that stuff. And like I said, I hope that was useful.